Hello everyone, it's me. Today I will be teaching you how I make my videos. First off, let's look at the universe size comparison. First off, add a circle. Then, adjust the circle's size so it's wider than its height. Remove the circle's color and add a border after it. After that, make the circle big and wide enough so that none of its borders intercept the presentation. Then, give it 3 animations. Sorry, I made 4, but I will delete it. Then, make all 3 animations duration whatever you'd like and set the acceleration to none. Then make one scale 10%, another one to 1%, and the last one to 0.1%. Then add a circle or an image as your object, change its textures, and add a text box above that and change its textures too. When you're done, copy and paste the circle image, flip it, set its opacity to whatever percentage you'd like, and move the semi-opaque image below the object as the object's shadow. But now we've got a problem. Our circle is not centered on the center of the screen anymore. So next up we are going to add a rectangle. Set its width to 10x more than the central circle, set its opacity to 0%. Duplicate the rectangle, make their x value the same. Next, duplicate one of the rectangles, rotate it by 90 degrees, and set its height to around 2.5x less than the other 2 rectangles depending on the width to height ratio of the main circle. Make this rectangle's ends on the 2 longer rectangle, and group all 3 of the rectangles together. Then, make sure that the group center, both vertically and horizontally, is the same as the central circle. When you're done, click on the 10% scaler to check, and if the scaling scales the group into the center of the screen, you did it right. After that, copy and paste the entire group so you don't need to repeat everything again. Change the size labels to 10x more than the previous group, move its animations one behind, and add whatever you want to the other groups. Next up I will teach you how to make the timeline videos. First, insert the images of the objects that you want to include in this video. Then, crop out the dark parts of the object's image, unless you found high-quality PNGs. After that, add circles onto the objects, make the circles black, and group the object circle together. They will be your orbits. After that, move the orbits so their position makes sense, and add a scale and whatever you'd like. Repeat everything said to all objects you want to include. After you're done formatting, add animations. First off, add invisible shapes beside every orbit. Make their opacity 0, and they will help with the orbital movement animation that you're going to have later. Before you add animations, you can do whatever you want to the format, such as adding a magnifier for the inner object's orbits and adding spaces for each object's picture. When the preparation for the animations is done, add them. For the orbital animations, add the rotate transition for all objects' orbits. Change the acceleration to none and the time to whatever you'd like. Then change the rotation amount based on the instability of each object's orbit. For example, Mercury's orbit is more volatile than other planets, so its rotation's number should be higher. After that, it's time to add the timelines. The website to do this is Flourish Studio, where you can enter the time animation. After filling out the time, add an object's data such as temperature to each matching time, so the animation becomes correct. When you're done, format the background and labels, and record the time each data one by one. After you are done recording the data and the time, add them into the presentation, given that the time scale is exactly what you intended. Make sure every object has a data beside its orbit. Put the time onto wherever you want. Trim out the beginnings of each time data so they match up with the events, and make them all start at the beginning of the animation. Let's watch it go to work. Then, add any text box you'd like, and make them appear at the time the event they describe occurs. This is the most error-prone part, so make sure you double-check before you share the animation.